You might think you know Florida, but you probably don't know about the phone booth police station or the castle made out of aluminum out in the middle of nowhere, and you probably haven't crushed a car with a tank, at least not yet. These aren't just any old tourist traps, but these are 10 truly bizarre, weird experiences you can actually do in Florida. So let's talk about it. Let's get weird. Here's 10 of the weirdest experiences you can have right here in Florida. We're going to do this in no particular order, and we're going to start all the way down in the Florida Keys in Key Largo at the Jules Undersea Lodge, where you can sleep underwater in one of the only underwater hotels in the world. So if you've ever dreamed of living in a Bond villain's lair for the night, or maybe you just really love aquariums and you've wanted to sleep inside one, you can actually spend the night here underwater at Jules Undersea Lodge in Key Largo. This is the only underwater hotel in the United States, and to check in, you actually have to scuba dive 30 feet down through a lagoon, go up inside of an underwater hatch, and inside you'll find cozy quarters that are not the most luxurious, to be honest, but it is a pretty unique experience. Now, this is not exactly cheap, and prices do start at around $1,700 per couple. But that does include a pizza delivery. Yeah, someone will actually deliver you a pizza while you're underwater down there. It's named after Jules Verne, and it was started as a marine research habitat that then later got converted into a little hotel. This is located in Key Largo near John Pennekamp Coral Reef State Park, so you can make a whole weekend of underwater weirdness while you explore this stretch of the Florida Keys. If you're still with me and want to keep exploring the best and sometimes even the worst of Florida with me, please consider hitting that subscribe button. It really helps my channel grow, and I sincerely appreciate it. Thank you so much. Solomon's Castle in Ona. Somewhere in the cow pastures of Central Florida, an eccentric man built a literal shiny castle out of aluminum printing plates. That man was artist Howard Solomon, and the result is Solomon's Castle. A tin-foil coated fever dream with pun-filled sculptures, a pirate ship restaurant called The Boat in the Moat, and a gallery that kind of feels like it's dedicated to dad jokes in the form of art. Admission is $35 for adults, and it's located out in Ona, Florida, which is so rural your GPS might just throw in the towel. Seriously, this place is really out in the middle of nowhere, and there really isn't anything else around here, so to get out here, you really need to make a special trip. But the drive might be worth it just to say you've seen one of the most truly bizarre old roadside attractions in a state that's full of weird stuff like this. But the inside of the castle doesn't have air conditioning, just some fans, so you might want to reconsider coming here in the middle of the summer. Wintertime though, perfect. From one castle built by a weird old eccentric to another, this is Coral Castle in Homestead, Florida. This was built by just one guy using 1,100 tons of coral rock and zero modern machinery. Coral Castle is kind of like Florida's version of the pyramids, if the pyramids were carved out of heartbreak and limestone in South Florida. A guy named Edward Leeds Scalman claimed to have built the entire structure all by himself in the 1920s after being jilted by his teenage fiancée, and then he dedicated this whole thing to her. Yeah, there's a lot to unpack here. He was 26 and she was just 16 at the time, so yeah, ick. And here's a fun fact, the 1987 Billy Idol song, Sweet 16, was actually inspired by this story, and one version of the music video was even shot right here. He never told anyone how he did it, Edward Leeds Scalman I'm talking about, not Billy Idol, but he did claim to do it by knowing the secrets of magnetism or something like that, or maybe he was just really dedicated. And you know how some people think the pyramids were built with the help of UFOs or aliens? Maybe they just need to come here and figure out how he did it. Unless he also had help from aliens. The Coral Castle is located in Homestead. Admission is $25 for adults. You'll find a massive stone gate that opens with the touch of a finger, a giant heart-shaped table, and a throne room carved entirely out of coral. And while you're in the area, maybe go check out Everglades National Park or grab a key lime pie milkshake at nearby Robert Is Here fruit stand. That's another Florida classic. If you're looking to get your aura examined or maybe have a chat with Aunt Mildred from the other side, Cassadaga, Florida is your place. This tiny little Victorian town near Deltona was founded in 1894 by a New York medium and has since become known as the psychic capital of the world. The streets here are lined with spiritualist homes offering tarot readings, medium sessions, there's crystal shops, new age trinkets, and just enough haunted energy to light up your EMF meter. You do have one of those, right? Not just me? Just show up in town and start exploring. Psychic readings range from $30 up to about $100, and there's even a haunted hotel right here if you want the full ghost hunting experience. Cassadaga even inspired the Tom Petty song, Cassadaga. He wrote it after visiting the town and getting a palm reading, an experience he found more confusing than enlightening.
And this is a song about this town in Florida that has like 35 acres of weird people. It's called Cassadaga.
The song reflects his skepticism, but also the haunting pull this place has on some people. Cassadaga is located just off I-4. It's about 40 minutes or so from Orlando, and you can pair it with a visit to Blue Spring State Park right here, one of the best places in the state to see manatees in the winter. If you've ever sat in traffic on I-4 and gotten so frustrated you thought, I wish I could just run over everything, and who among us hasn't thought that? Well, now you can. At Tank America in Orlando, you can drive a 15-ton military tank through mud pits, jungle trails, and yeah, over actual cars. And this is for real, no video game controller required. This is real diesel-powered vehicular chaos. Now this is a truly wild and bucket list experience, but it's not exactly cheap either. Prices start at about $200 to drive the tank down a half-mile course, $300 for the 1-mile course, and if you want to crush a car, that'll run you about $600. But you get a video of the carnage to show your grandkids and to try to hide from your insurance company. Now this is located in Orlando, about 20 minutes or so from downtown, and if somehow crushing an old Buick under a tank isn't enough for you, there is a tactical laser tag course here set in a faux military compound, so you can get together with your buddies and pretend you're invading Epcot. Spook Hill in Lake Wales is where the laws of gravity don't seem to exist like they do everywhere else. You can drive up to a painted white line, put your car in neutral, and it rolls. Uphill? Or at least it looks like it. It's just an optical illusion, but local legend here says it's haunted by a Seminole chief, or maybe even a giant ghost gator, because of course it is, right? You'll find this roadside oddity in Lake Wales, and it's completely free because it's just a stretch of public road, anybody can come access it. And there's a big spooky sign right here explaining the legend. Now, I don't think I'd make a special trip out here just to do this, but it's a pretty well-known little oddity in Central Florida, and it's just a few minutes from Bok Tower Gardens, which definitely is worth it. So it's worth a stop if you're in the area doing that, and if you want to balance out some weirdness with the serene landscaping. Every April, thousands of people gather at the Florida-Alabama state line to get drunk and throw dead fish across it. This is the Flora-Bama mullet toss, an event that is exactly what it sounds like. You stand on the Florida side and you hurl a mullet, the fish, not the haircut, as far as you can into Alabama. Winners get prizes, losers go home with slimy and stinky hands. This event is hosted by the Flora-Bama Lounge, a legendary beach bar in Perdido Key. It's $10 to watch, $20 to throw a mullet, but you do get a t-shirt and all the money goes to charity. Out here, you can expect live music, beach volleyball, plenty of beer, and lots of mullets, both the fish and the haircut variety. In case Florida wasn't confusing enough, now you can actually go snow tubing in Pasco County. Yeah, you heard that right, snow tubing in Florida. This is Snowcat Ridge, Florida's only outdoor snow park, complete with a 60-foot tall, 400-foot-long tubing hill, an indoor Arctic igloo play area with real snow, and an ice skating rink with a synthetic ice skating surface. So that's right, snow right here in Florida, in a state where some people wear flip-flops to weddings. This is open seasonally and weather permitting from November through early March, and tickets start around $26.95 for general admission, with extra charges for tubing or skating and some of the other little experiences they have here. It's located in Dade City, just 45 minutes or so north of Tampa. It's kitschy, it's cold, it's weird, it's confusing, but it does make for some very, wait, are you sure that's in Florida kind of photos. Blink and you'll miss it. In Carabel, Florida, the entire police station is literally just a phone booth on a street corner. At least once upon a time it was. This is the world's smallest police station, a single phone booth with a police sign on it. Back in the 1950s, the town's officers were dealing with everything from traffic stops to tugboat logistics, and they needed a way to take calls while out on patrol. After prank callers and long-distance freeloaders kept misusing the department's wall-mounted phone, a local telephone tech had a brilliantly weird idea: stick the whole thing inside a decommissioned phone booth and set it up so it could only receive calls, not make them. And history was born, the world's smallest police station. And these days, it's not really a police station anymore, it's just for photos and nostalgia, but it's still one of the most iconic little roadside attractions in the state. Now, I wouldn't come all the way out here just to see this, but if you're in Apalachicola for some great seafood and oysters, this makes a fun little side quest to grab a picture and say you've seen the world's smallest police station. Finally, if you've ever thought, I'd like to wrestle an alligator, but like do it legally, then Gatorland has you covered. Their Trainer for a Day experience lets you go behind the scenes at this classic Florida attraction and get up close with gators, snakes, and giant tortoises. You'll learn how to handle them, how to feed them, and take some photos that'll make your mom really nervous. This program costs $130 per person, it lasts about 2 hours, and is offered year-round at Gatorland in Orlando. It's one of the oldest attractions in Central Florida, and it's way cheaper than a day at Disney, even with this additional experience added on. Alright, thanks for watching. That's a wrap on the 10 weirdest things you can do in Florida, from driving tanks, to sleeping underwater, to visiting a psychic town. And if you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up, and please don't forget to subscribe. I cover everything from the theme parks to the state parks, and all the weird wild stops in between. And please drop a comment if you've been to any of these places, or if I forgot about something that's even weirder that I should check out. And let me know if you've actually thrown a mullet into Alabama. I'll see you in the next one, stay safe, and I'll see you around the Sunshine State.